I feel like I look fine.
You look great. Love it.
Hi,
I love
everybody.
the monochrome, actually. It's very
This is from a place
Eastern
called
European of you.
Yeah, this is from a place called Colorful Standard
Mm,
on Venice Boulevard.
okay.
And they have like these like monochromatic sweatsuits that are really comfy and
Are you a boutique boy now?
Not really. I mean, I'm wearing this little Casio watch,
Ooh.
However, I don't know if this is the time to say this. Last night I really gave myself a gift.
Yeah.
And I
Do you want to talk about this on there? Because I have to intro first.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Right.
No, I do podcasts different, dude. I am so super cat. We're just having a conversation.
We're casual.
I'm making out with your dog. I'm chilling. I'm on your is there a cat here too?
There's a cat here too. How'd you know?
I saw a little cat tower.
Oh, nice. Okay. In that case,
Is there a sitar here as well?
there's a sitar here as well.
That's crazy. What else is in this place? What other mysteries can be explored?
Before we explore, Morgan, welcome to Podcastina.
What's up? Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Galina Bambina.
It's been a minute.
Rivina.
Mm-hmm. You are so obsessed with Monty. I love this.
No.
Do you have pets?
I had a dog I had a beagle growing up, and then when I lived in New York, I was a dog walker. Was one of my I mean, I had a friend who dog walked, and when she couldn't, I'd fill in for her. So yeah, I did that. But yeah, man, I love doggies. I like cats too. I'm just a little allergic to cats.
I am as well.
But I do allergy. Wait, really?
Yeah.
How are you holding up here?
I just take allergy meds every morning.
Really?
Yeah.
And how does that help?
It's fine.
It's fine.
I function.
Because I do the allergy shots. And
I
I'm just
did the
curious.
allergy shots. I did that for like a year and a half.
And it helps, doesn't it?
Yes.
It was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this, get some allergy shots. I mean, if you can afford it. I mean, it was, I don't know. It's like hard. I feel weird talking about money these days because it's like everybody's struggling really hard, and it's like somehow I've managed to do okay.
But
now,
that's good. You deserve it. Congratulations.
Thank you. It only takes 17 years. So if you're out there and I'll say this. I think I've worked very hard, and I feel like for any up and coming artists, if you do music or comedy or any kind of art, I feel like I am one of those examples of like sticking with it and the hard work. Obviously, there's people who like are incredibly talented and they strike gold, that first thing or whatever it is. But I feel like it's also good to have these examples of people just like grind it out. And it's like, well, if I do it, I can get something. I can get somewhere,
No, and it makes me happy to have you as an example of a person that I knew going in, that it took that long, but you made it anyways, and serve as an example of what it is to just have grit and keep going.
Especially, when we're doing these shows and, you see people that kind of, it almost feels like they had some sort of cheat code, and then you're like, I don't understand why.
But those are few and far apart. I think for the most part, I do see it taking a really long time, and in my own journey with things, I hit my 10-year milestone in December, and I kind of started panicking.
No, don't. This is what I'll say. I started when I was 20. I hit my 10-year at 30, and I was like, I just had started making like a teacher salary at comedy. Obviously that was 2017. Wow, it was almost 8 years ago. It's embarrassing. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it will happen when it happens, and I'm lucky that it even happened. I mean, I always tell my team now, I'm like, everything right now is extra, and whether it's 10 years or 20 years I mean, I don't know. As long as as long as you're like enjoying yourself, you know what I mean? When this stops becoming like an enjoyable practice, like you have to like I feel like people have to have an honest conversation with themselves, There are certain things you have to ask yourself as an entertainer or any sort of like creative person. Like, would I listen to my own music? Would I laugh at my own stuff? Would I buy a ticket to my own show? Like, you have to have this sort of like, there has to be a certain level of delulu, but there also has to be a certain level of like quality check. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I agree.
Monty agrees. That's the thing. You got to enjoy it. And I think that's where I started podcasting again because I
you
felt
like the podcasting.
I loved a podcast. I mean, my number one baby, my love child will always be stand-up. But I think that in this business sometimes, and you can probably speak to this, as far as making a living off of it, if you're only doing stand-up, you have to be on the road all of the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the road all the time now, mostly because I'm just riding this wave because I think most comics, when they have this big kind of like hot streak, it's like you got to get your tickets in and get out. I mean, I know that for the foreseeable future, I'll always be able to sell tickets. However, I may not always be able to sell tickets at this level, right? So I'm doing like 1,000 to some 3,000 seat venues now. And it's like, this is great. This is cool. And I'm just trying to treat it like this is what it is right now. And it may not be like this next year or the year after that. Everybody around me thinks like this is only the beginning, but I never, having done this so long, I never try to like operate with that mentality of like, I should expect more because I've just been so disappointed so many times in this career that now I'm just like happy, I'm just happy and just try to enjoy it. I would hate to be one of these people that like is killing it and still miserable, because there are people like that I know personally. So
how do you keep yourself in check with not becoming that?
I mean, I think it's growing up with like an immigrant parent. I think it's like I honestly like being around sick people a lot and knowing that like health is honestly paramount and no, I mean, so it just puts a lot of things in perspective. My stepdad has Parkinson's, my dad died of cancer. I've been around sick people a long time. So you just kind of see that and you're like, well, if my stepdad had all the money in the world, I'm sure he'd pay for one thing. You know what I mean? That's to be healthy.
Health, yeah.
You know what I mean?
The one thing you can't buy.
The one thing you can't buy, that and time. So I literally had a meeting before this with a very large tech company, amongst the largest there is. And they were kind of like talking me through ways to grow my channel and how to monetize things more and how to make more money off of these things. And I told them, like, I'm touring is my main source of income now. The monetization that comes from social media is good, but it's never been my main goal. And I don't want to get kind of wrapped up in like, if I change this thumbnail or if I do this sort of thing that I'll make more money, because I'll drive myself crazy thinking about those things. And at the end of the day, like, we want an authentic product and I want my fans. How do I explain this? I just don't want to get wrapped up in that, because while it is a part of the business, it's like not, I don't want it to be the main thing of the business. You know what I mean?
Because if it takes up too much bandwidth, then you're kind of bumping up against what you were just saying of, am I really enjoying this? And who wants to make thumbnails?
I'm saying, I don't want to be thinking about that.
I'm thinking about that a lot, but I'm kind of still obviously in the building phase of things. So for me, I'm like, oh, it's worth the time to do the thumbnails and redo the thumbnails.
Look, and I'll say this. When I first started posting consistently, yes, come to me. When I first started posting, do you like how I manhandle your dog?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I really do.
When I first started, you like it? When I first started posting, I was doing all the subtitling. This is really like the most. You like the butt scratches.
He loves the butt scratches. You like the butt scratches. For the audio listeners, this is all just Monty play, hardcore Monty play right now.
This is a clip right here.
Yeah, it is.
You like the.
I mean, you can babysit him whenever you're not on the road.
This dog is cool. He loves me. Okay. Do you find that's a good sign? I don't know if you're dating, but do you find that the way a dog reacts to a man is a good sign of
1,000%? It would be such a massive red flag if he didn't like somebody.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Dogs, they know.
And I've got rules around that. Like, he sleeps in the bed. If someone's not okay with that, they can sleep on the floor.
I don't mind a dog like this sleeping in the bed, but I did date a girl who had like probably like your size, like your. But she had a Doberman Pinscher that was like the same size as her. It was like massive.
Yeah.
And we lived together for like a month in New York, and I was like, look, I love your dog. I love dogs. I love your dog, but it's just too big. He can't be in this bed with us. It's just like too big. Mm-hmm.
That's fair. A big dog, it would be different unless you had maybe just an extraordinarily large bed. But this dog is perfect. And if you knew how, so he sleeps perfectly at the foot of the bed. He is not disruptive at all. He waits until I greet him in the morning and I say, "Good morning, Monty." And then he comes and he cuddles. He lays across my chest in the morning and we cuddle. And it is just the perfect. I mean, he's perfect.
I know he is. Sorry, I'm getting too riled up with this dog, dude.
It's
and
hard
now
not to.
he's riled up, and we're not even talking about whatever we're supposed to talk about.
It's okay.
But yeah, I feel like animals are a good indicator whether like the person. Although cats, I can't get a read on, and I don't know. I try to treat. Anytime I'm around a cat, I try to act like a hot girl around it. I'm like, whatever.
That might be the right approach.
I feel like they like that shit. Like you got to ignore them or something.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, no, I love animals, you know. I for some reason on TikTok, it's been literally in the last day, it's been feeding me a lot of bird pet content, like having a pet bird.
The talking parrots, are you getting that content?
Talking parrots or like pigeons cuddling with birds, how birds like attach. And in theory, it seems great, but I just hear because they live for a long time if you take care of them.
What a commitment that is.
You know, it's like people have jokes about like this. You're like leaving a responsibility to your kids if you get if either of us get I'm 38 now. If I had a bird now, it would outlive me, and I'd have to give it to somebody. Yeah. You know, and that's no good.
No, it's really not. Birds.
What about lizards? What do you think about reptiles as a pet? You ever see a guy with a reptile like a lizard?
You know, it's not for me.
Like iguana or something? I think iguanas seem kind of cool though.
I think they're all right. I've never wanted an animal that isn't cute and furry. Mm-hmm. But, you know, to each their own. I would probably not be comfortable in a household with a large snake.
Do you know that you know Wally Baram?
I don't.
Wally's a comic who like had a pet snake. She was like a girl who has a pet snake. I don't know if that's a red flag or not, but I don't know.
What are red flags for you?
Red flags for me, somebody who isn't passionate about anything. You know, you gotta like have something. I don't care what it is. If you like to crochet, then then go for it. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm the breadwinner. I'm in a relationship. They're great. They have their passion, and that's great. Although it has been hard I feel like it's hard to navigate this year and the coming year because like we've been together for a while now, and I'm just gone a lot. I'm gone like 200 plus days of the year.
Wow.
And maybe even more than that. Maybe I'm undershooting it. And then when I'm in town, we don't count the days that like, because she's a makeup artist with film and TV, and if you work in the film and TV industry and you're on set, you know that like those are long days. So by the time she gets home, I might go to a club or I'm doing something. So that doesn't even count the days that you're in the same city and then like you don't even really see each other. So it is difficult. But then again, I couldn't see like, I don't know how I could be with. It's either like you have to be with somebody. I know what you asked about the red flags, but you have to be with somebody who's like in this industry and understands, because I have been in relationships with people who are not in the industry. Oops, excuse me. And they're supportive to a point, or you just like be single for a while and then like ride it out until you're ready to settle down, you know? So that's kind of what it is, you know? By the way, I have something for you. In my pocket. This is a pineapple ginger shot. I thought I got you the ginger. That one's actually great because that's more palatable. The full ginger shot is really hard to take down, but with the pineapple, what I normally do with these shots, I'm going to show the camera.
Shout out to right now.
No, I mean, as kind of. Do you drink or are you sober? You drink a little bit?
A little bit.
I'm not here to judge you. I mean, I drink occasionally.
Thank you.
But what I do is I'll have a thing. It's for her.
I'm gonna try it now.
Try it now. Just shake it. Just shake it up. Or here, let me see. Shake it up. Yeah, because some of the ginger gets at the bottom, and see what you think.
I love a little. I am kind of a health nut.
And they're also cute.
Thank you. I don't know if I'm supposed to shoot. Ooh, that's delicious.
Yeah. I've had that one. So those ones you can take in one shot if you want. I think it's easier to do, but the full on ginger is very difficult. So what I do is I will make a cup of tea and I'll put some of it in the tea, and then it's easier to take down. Like when I'm sick, half a shot of that, plus some Manuka honey, plus some lemon. I mean, you don't really need actual tea. You put those 3 things together, you're kind of like, just keep pounding that all day.
That was delicious. Thank you.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked
Fantastic.
it a lot. I'll buy the similar probiotic shots and stuff from Trader Joe's.
Health, huh?
The Gut Health, and Whole Foods has them as well. I need to spend more time at Rainbow Acres.
I love it there. I'm a big look down the barrel of the camera sometimes, you know?
That's good.
It's good. You know, there's people listening to us, but there might be people watching us.
Yeah.
And I want to know that. I want you to know that I'm looking right at you. I'm looking right at you. All right? I'm looking right at you. You got your finger out of your nose. Although I love to pick my nose.
I mean, it's kind of a guilty pleasure.
I'll pick my nose till I fucking bleed. I swear to God, dude. I'll pick it. If I don't get some sort of flesh, I pray for dry weather sometimes, you know?
Ooh.
Not all the time, but because actually it's bad for my voice. But yeah, no, a good nose pick is, and it's like you're picking your nose and then like you start crying a little bit. You're like,
I'm not getting as far as you are.
Oh, you're missing out.
You're getting to your frontal cortex.
Oh my, I'm digging for trauma, dude. I'm like, let me get a piece of fucking childhood trauma in there. There it is. So
I love that you have this perspective on health, though, that you know that that's the number one thing and that you have to take care of that. And how do you take care of it, especially with traveling so much?
It is hard when I do get in the tour thing. I'm trying to get into that habit now because I realize I can't hit the gym every day when I'm on the road. I can't run like I used to run. Like I would run, do a 5K like every other day or so. Can't do that. So I'm just trying to build a habit where I do burpees like every other day. And then cause that's how I get into, I make it a habit. We have to make it a habit first before we try to like excel at a thing, So, I'm just, 2 weeks to 2 months, I'm going to try to do burpees every other day. And that way when I'm on the road, I can just like pound those out when I wake up in the morning.
There's nowhere you can't do a burpee.
There's nowhere you can't do it. You can do it in an airport.
Mm-hmm.
So I could just do it right when I wake up. And my burpees I do a different kind of burpee. I do like push-up Spider-Man. Push-up. You know what push-up Spider-Man is? You know what Spider-Man is? It's where you're looking, and then you kind of bring your knee, And then so push-up Spider-Man, hop up, and then do like 2 to 5 squats, and then just keep repeating that until I'm like out of breath or something,
Honestly, that's great because it's body weight, it's compound movements, and you're getting cardio in.
Yeah, and you make sure the movements are kind of like slow and controlled, because that you want those like, I don't know, isometric or whatever you want to. It's better like hold. Anyway, point being is I try to stay in shape. When I tour, no alcohol, no weed, getting sleep. Using a nebulizer to steam my voice, no loud places. I started to limit my meet and greets because people show up sick to shows, and and I'm like, I get IVs. I don't really like spend a lot of money on like things, So massages, little spa treatments, IVs.
Yeah, don't feel guilty about the IVs.
Because it's like, I know to some extent, like, sorry, let me get in the frame.
That's okay.
I'm a tall fella. To some extent, you're peeing a lot of that stuff out, but I'm a big like placebo guy. It's like, if you say this is good for me, like I'm like very
it works though. That's the thing about placebo. It works.
Because your mind is a very powerful thing, Monty. And if you believe you're going to get sick, you will get sick.
I agree with that. I always go, I never get sick. But I'm a big manifesting twat, so.
You are?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
No, I am too. I mean, it was during the pandemic where I was like, I'm going to come out of this like somebody who's gone to prison. I'm like, I'm going to become Muslim, have a law degree, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
be jacked.
Be jacked. Exactly. Those are going to be like, but no, I was like, no, the pandemic won't. I'm going to use this time and all these government checks to like double down and reinvest and figure something else out. And
happy 5-year anniversary, by the way. Like that shutdown was exactly 5 years
March 16th,
ago. Yeah.
That's right. Holy cannoli. Yeah. So come here.
I can feel his little asshole. I'm landing on my knee.
Yeah, no, but staying healthy is like so important, especially when you're performing at the level I'm at. I'm not like Beyonce, but I'm just saying like.
No, but you use your vocal cords way more than like say a traditional stand-up.
Yeah.
You need that shit to be taken care of.
Stretch just about every day. Mm-hmm. No, I do stretch every day. I do one stretch for sure before bed every day.
What's your favorite stretch?
Okay, so if you're anybody who's alive, what you want to do is cat-cows, and you want to do like not just the cat-cow, but you kind of want to try to like rotate a little bit.
Roll it, yeah.
And then there's another stretch. I don't know how to, I can't really like demonstrate it here, but essentially what you want to do is you take your elbows, you get on all fours, you take your elbows,
yeah,
and then you like put your neck down.
Oh.
I'll show you the stretch. Shit, I'll just show you right now. Hold up. So it's like this. So it's like, you might not be able to see it.
Yeah.
You put your elbows here.
Oh wait, that looks terrific.
And you let your neck and then you let your neck hang down.
Yeah.
And it's actually like an absolute fucking lifesaver if you get in the habit of doing that.
That probably helps with flying as much as you do.
Yeah, and I'm 6'1", and these seats are like not built for.
We have a 1 foot height difference, you and I.
I know. Do you like flying? Like, can you fall asleep on a flight, or you?
Not with ease. If I take something, it makes it a little bit easier. Trazodone.
Oh yeah, I know Trazodone. Yeah,
yeah.
No, I take Klonopin every now and then.
Yeah, but I definitely struggle with it. But on the flip side, I sometimes prefer just to save time to do a red eye and get it over with, and just
I can't do it.
Bear the brunt of it.
I could never do a red eye.
No, I do them all the time.
I just am like, I'd rather spend a day traveling, not show up tired. I'll show up the day before the show, and I'll spend them because I'd rather sleep in.
That's fair.
And be rested. But yeah, being limber, like stretching every day, doing yoga. And when I do yoga, I'm like only doing 15 minutes of yoga, not even. It's like a couple of like warrior poses and.
But if you're locked in, that's all you need.
Yeah, that's really all you need. And if you're just like controlled and you're mindful of it, it's good. Visualization is also very good. I do that shit. I write down things. When I meditate, I like act. And when I meditate, I don't visualize like a tree of money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like there's several things I visualize, okay? Like if I want money, right? If I want to get like more money, I visualize like the act of like getting the check, signing the check, going to the bank, depositing the check, checking my balance, or opening my app up, visualizing a big things. You know, because if you grew up in a house where like you didn't have money, it's hard to even imagine having a big home.
Yeah.
So you have to visualize these things in order to convince yourself that you are worthy of attaining these things. Because if you don't, then you won't get it. You know what I mean? And I don't know the kind of home you grew up in, but it's like you're not taught that you don't deserve things, but you're taught, I feel like, that if you want anything, it takes a lot of hard work, but you don't even know what that is. Like you don't even know what you're capable of getting. You know what I'm saying? So you have to visualize those things. You feel me?
Yeah, it's the thing that helps with self-worth, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy the same way that something negative does. If you tell yourself, oh, I'm a loser and I never make money and nothing ever works out,
what's gonna happen.
You're just going to keep calling that in.
That's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen, Captain.
No, I'm all about the Delulu.
You have to be a little bit, you know, but you also have to meet the universe halfway, you know.
You can't just visualize. You have to do the work.
You have to do the work. You can't be like, oh, universe, please give me rent money.
Right.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
The universe don't know nothing about rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really doesn't. But at the same time,
Monty don't pay rent.
Monty don't pay rent. He don't have to. He's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He'll be taken care of no matter what.
Yeah. You want to see what's up to me? Come here. Come here. Why did you
go over there, honey? Go over there. How'd you get into? Were you always manifesting, or did you grow up with positive mindset stuff? What got you there?
I think I started like 2016. Well, with like mirror work, where I would look into a mirror and say, I must have seen some sort of short form content that was like, yeah, you should really talk to yourself. And, or no, it was the inner monologue, right? It was the, how do you talk to yourself and how is that, like, be mindful of that, you know? And I noticed that I was, you know, if I was my own friend, I was pretty mean. I'd be a mean friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had that realization as well.
Yeah, if I was my own friend, I wouldn't like that dude. I have my friend who comes on the road with me now, who handles a lot of stuff for me. So anytime I say something like negative about myself, he'll be like, "Hey, don't talk about my friend like that."
That's a good friend.
You know what I mean?
That's great to have somebody to keep you in check.
I think this is upside down.
Is it?
I just saw
Oh.
it. I felt the zipper and I go, I think this is upside down. But yeah, the self, that's where it started. So it seems so lame, but before work at the Apple store on the promenade, I would like sit in my car and I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, "You're cool, man. You're like a cool guy. People want to hang out." And I would say it like that. I had to say it with this conviction, this overly lame, like, people want to hang out with you, man. You're a funny person. People want to spend time with you. You're cool, you know? And just doing that consistently helps. And even still, like, for people who didn't grow up in a place where they felt like they were, you know, had worth. Not to say, listen, my mom did an incredible job. I've been to therapy. Mm-hmm. I do feel like sometimes these therapists really trying to turn you against your parents. I don't do that shit, you know? Your parents are from where? The Ukraine? Mm-hmm. Right? So, it's like, I don't want to, they're immigrants. They have a different life. If they had everything and we're still shitty, that'd be a whole other
Yeah, I think the
story.
best way of looking at it is they did the best they could with the tools they had.
Yeah,
that's
man.
the thing. It's still worth making those discoveries, whether it's with a therapist or whatever other modality people are using to heal. You do need to look at what issues arose in childhood. You do need to examine how that established your thinking patterns and the way that you talk to yourself, which is what we're talking about. But give them some credit
100%.
that... Do you like Brene Brown?
Oh, is that white woman who with the Netflix? She like has a
Yes.
Netflix special.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of her and I think she's great.
She's amazing. So she's a shame researcher, and I've read her books. I've read some of them multiple times. And one of the things she points out is, do you want to live with the belief that everybody's doing their best? Do you want that to be your life perspective? That even shitty people are doing their best because that's what their best is.
That's what you want to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So I try to look at things through that lens, even when we're talking about someone who's difficult, and even if it's like a criminal or something like that, maybe that's their best because of what they've been through. Maybe that's all they have the capacity to do, but it just lightens the load for me to try to think that way of people and try to assume that that's their best, because the other side of it is just being really pessimistic, and I think making it harder for me to navigate life. To be like, oh, everyone's trying to be shitty. Everyone has terrible intentions. When even the most outright bad person in their head they're not the villain in their head, right? Nobody's the villain in their head, even when they're doing shitty
like
things.
Trying to steal your thought. now you like trying to make a solid point. I'm just like, yeah, no, totally. Yeah, give me the dog. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I love how much you love him.
Yeah, it's I agree with that. I always try to assume positive intent is what we learned at the Apple store. And everybody's having a bad dude. I remember when I worked at the Apple store, people would come in just already a ball of anxiety. You're literally just trying to give them a new phone, sell them a new phone. And they'd be like, "What's taking so long?" Bring all this anxious energy. I would stop transactions and I'd be like, all right, we got to figure something out because you're clearly upset about something that has nothing to do with me. I'm in my 20s selling you an iPhone.
Boy, is that a thing that anyone who works in retail goes through.
Yeah. And so I said, listen, I get paid by the hour. I could sell you this phone and you could be on your way, or we could just chill and chat a little bit and you can let me know what's going on. I had some customers really open up. One woman was like, yeah, I just got divorced after like 35 years. And she was going, every once in a while, somebody's like, I want to work with somebody else. You're like, great. I get it. This is not therapy. But you have to realize people are, you know what I think about? Anytime somebody's making a left turn and they're not making the left turn, that initial sense of like, fucking no. But then I think most of the time they're probably just on their phone, and that's fine. But what if they're having a heart attack, or they're spacing out thinking about something that happened, or they're having a bad day, So I try to think about that. Yeah.
That's a gift. You're kind of giving people a bit of a soft landing, or
empathia, empathy.
Yes.
Yeah, lead with empathy. That's what we try to do, at least. I hope people have empathy for me. And this, if people, because they can hate you, they could love you on a Tuesday, but they could hate you on a Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Or a Wednesday. So. Has
there been anything that has happened? Because I haven't caught wind of anything.
No,
with you being controversial.
No. Oh no, there literally briefly there was a video. I was on somebody else's podcast. I don't know if you know Chappelle Lacey and Cole Garrett.
Yeah.
Cooked in the Comments, and they showed a video. What the whole premise of the podcast is that you show these videos and you see what the people said in the comments and like how they roasted this video, right? And one of them was a woman who had like, I don't know if she had surgery or if she had like something in her clothes, but it was like a very odd shape coming out of her waist, And I said, "Oh, she has a thorax, like a butt," and they said "bug," and all the comments reflected this, And then there was like a comment or two where people were like, "I don't know, I don't like this." Really, kind of turned me off to Morgan, and
oh please,
and I
such a nothing thing to get in trouble, quote unquote, for.
Well, it wasn't even. It's just sort of indicative of like, I was making jokes about a lot of people on that podcast, and the whole point we're making fun of people, right?
Yeah, that's the premise.
I did not choose that video. That's the video they chose. Mm-hmm. I was kind of just like, I didn't think it was like that. I do understand like a man commenting on a woman's body is because it's like they deal with that all fucking day and their whole life, But in this instance, it was like very clear like what we were talking about, Even now, I'm like I've reached the point in my career where I'm like, fuck, dude. Anything I say or do can or will be held against me at any moment.
What is that like? That's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure. It almost makes you not want to do anything, talk to anybody, say anything, because I don't know, people just I don't know. It's like if I really don't know. It's like people can take anything the wrong way, and my intentions are never malicious at all. If you've been to one of my shows, my shows are like hella positive and inclusive, and everybody's welcome at my show. We don't talk about really race, religion, or politics. I'm not edgy like that. It's just like a fun place. It's not even a comedy show anymore, really. It's sort of like a party, sleepover type of energy, So going back to it, that's also kind of a new adjustment to deal with,
Do you think the real fans give you room, though? Do you think they give you credit, and that the people who are critiquing you are probably not fans? They're just people that are like stumbling upon content?
Yeah, I think it runs the gambit, because there are people who are like keyboard warriors.
Right.
And I do understand those people on both sides of the spectrum, right? Because you have the trolls and you have the people who are like, social justice warriors. And if they see anything out of line, like they're there to correct it. And I think those people are important. We need those people, because like I'm lazy and apathetic sometimes, and I'm just like, let me make people laugh. That's all I can really do. But I think sometimes even those people, like, I try to have empathy for everybody. I have a whole song about this. I have a whole song about the people who talk shit about your posts and like to tell you suck and you're a piece of shit and you're trash. I have empathy for those people, because I know what actually is happening.
What's actually happening is that they'd rather get negative attention than no attention at all. They don't know how to seek positive attention, and loneliness is the most crippling thing. It's why you put the most hardened criminals in isolation, because loneliness is the worst. And those people, I think, just haven't been taught, or maybe they've tried to connect through positivity and it hasn't gotten them anywhere, and they've given up on it. So they're like, I'd rather get negative attention than no attention at all.
That's 100% it. These people don't have an outlet. They have nobody that will listen to them, nobody to talk to. And so they take this opportunity to shit on somebody else. And the funny thing is, if you confront most of these people, they'll be like, they'll walk it back immediately. Right. They'll be like, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to say. So that's all it is. It's like, where are you going? You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You're staying here with me.
I want to ask you, because so much of your crowd work, you'll talk to couples, and you've probably seen and interacted with so many couples.
Can you just hold that question for a second?
Pause for Monty kisses. On that, is there anything you've observed about dating and relationships that you feel like gives you a unique viewpoint just based on how much you're asking people about their relationships?
Yeah, I think the couples who have a good sense of humor seem to be more in love, and you just kind of get this sense of the people who've been together a long time. They are at a comedy show together. They are laughing together. I like how the dog takes up half the frame. The ones who the younger couples, you know what I've noticed? I've noticed a surge in very, very young couples who are, unless it was always like this. I mean, these young couples are so certain that it's going to work out, that they're going to get married. Like, they're so positive that it's going to happen. But I believe them. I don't know. Maybe it's like because I'm an optimistic person. I believe that they're going to because I feel like more than ever, it's like you find these people and you just kind of latch onto them. And also there's more things now to occupy your relationship to avoid conflict, in the sense that you don't have to have a lot in common anymore. You could literally just lay together and look at TikToks all day and connect on just sending each other funny videos. And I don't know if that is good or bad, but that just seems to be how these younger couples are kind of hanging out. But then again, I don't know, man. I never had like super healthy role models for relationships, so I don't know. Man. I will say everybody under 25 is like bisexual at this point.
Yeah?
They're all fucking each other, yeah. Huh. Everybody's fucking each other, yeah. And that's cool. I mean, let them, that's fine, But yeah, you see, my shows are like, runs the whole gambit of the LGBTQ straight. Everybody, dude. You got the people with the Ford F-150s and the neck beards, and you also have like the septum piercings, purple hair, buzz side cut, I wish I had more insight on what I see in the couples in my relationship, but in my shows and their relationships. But
how are you drawn to the ones you want to talk to?
I don't honestly, like, the younger couples are always really funny because for them, for the most part, they're probably going to. I'm a very big first date, second date, third date show. My show is very conducive to a first, second, and third date. It's very experiential. If I find a first, second, and third date, I will try to get them to kiss in front of all of us. And in Toronto, I think it was show number 1. I did not find 1, not 2, but 3 like first or second dates. I had them all kiss. Had them all kiss. I'm like, let's get it out of the way. Just get this. If this is the first part of the date, get this smooch out of the way. You can enjoy the rest of the date. That's it. Have
you had anyone refuse?
Yeah, I mean, they might not want to kiss. I mean, that's fine. If they don't want to, I get that. So they're like, all right, it's okay. But most of the time they do, and it's a good story. And sometimes you're afraid to kiss because you're like, maybe you're not a good kisser, or you've never really kissed much at all. And I'm that person that's gonna like push you over. I would say my show is a big what's the word? When you anxiety exposure therapy. So whatever anxiety you have, like, my show is a good show to. And most people's anxiety is like public speaking, public things. A lot of people are more isolated, so they just are afraid to interact with anybody. So I kind of facilitate a safe space for you to do that.
Do you think you've ever broken anyone up?
100%. I've gotten DMs about it.
Wait, really? Like, yeah.
What? I was in Miami-ish, Dania Beach area, and there was a girl and a guy there, and she was like very happy I came over, and I think we took a selfie, and I sang to her, and then she DM'd me later and was like, me and my boyfriend got into a huge argument talking about how my boyfriend was like, you can never pull Morgan J or some shit like that. And then I didn't respond too much to it. And then she was like, well, it doesn't matter anymore because like we just broke up over this whole argument. And honestly, if you broke up because of that, then it wasn't meant to be, and you shouldn't have been together in the first place.
1,000%. That's such a
if I'm
minor
somebody
thing
that can break your relationship up, you know, it ain't it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's crazy.
But I've also had people DM me like, "Hey, we hooked up because of your show. Thank you. Because of your show, I got to use the condom you found in her purse." You know, that which happened in Toronto because I'll like go through people's things during shows too. And I found this one couple. They were like on a first or second date, and I found a condom in her purse. So I was like, "Oh, she's ready, huh? She came ready for it," and it did hook up that night. So.
Oh my God, how lucky!
Yeah, so it's definitely fun. I'm having a good time. I have a good time at my show.
What is the most? There's probably a bunch. You get unhinged DMs, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of guys hitting me up to give me throat.
Oh.
Let me give you this throat, daddy. I got people asking for money. I actually had to change my Venmo account name because people found my Venmo and were requesting money from me.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, like people I've never even met, strangers. So I had to change my Venmo account. And then, you know, like, I don't know, just, well, I mean, we could look through it real quick, see if there's anything. See if there's anything going on that's exciting in here. I mean, a lot of the DMs are like, why won't you come to this city? Will you come to this city? Will you come to this city? What the fuck?
Do you have any rules for like reading them, not reading them, trying to put boundaries around it?
I get so many now that I can't really respond to the DMs because also some people have this parasocial connection to you that you don't really know about because they see so many of your videos. They see so many of my videos. And so if you answer one DM, like to have like a fun little, let me surprise this fan. If you do it to the wrong person, they like carry on a conversation and they keep DMing you. They keep DMing you. So if that ever, I kind of now at the very beginning, if I see that happening, I'm like, hey, just so you know, like I get a lot of DMs. I'm trying to manage expectations here. I probably will end up ghosting you and not talking to you. It's not personal. I just don't know you and I have 1,000 DMs, but hopefully I see you at a show. And I find that to be very helpful and that works.
That's super reasonable.
And I think that's a reasonable request. If it gets out of line and they start to get butthurt, then I have to block them or I just got, which has happened before, I'm just waiting for Siz's DM because she's shared my stuff before and I'm like,
oh, that's so cool. Who's been your favorite celebrity DM you've gotten?
Celebrity DM that I've gotten, Masego, who's a R&B artist, is really talented, really great. Phineas, Billie Eilish's brother, follows me on TikTok, and I was at a concert a couple months ago at Hollywood Cemetery Forever. Is it Hollywood Forever Cemetery?
Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
And I was seeing a band, and we were right next to the VIP section, and then Phineas walked by me, and I go, Phineas! And he turned around, and I go, dude, we follow each other on TikTok. And he goes, oh, yes, you're very funny. You're very funny, man. And he went back to the VIP area. So that was very cool. As far as other DMs, nothing too crazy like mega stars, but I'll say this, like now that I'm at a certain level in my career and I'm repped by a very big Hollywood agency and I am making them a substantial amount of money, I can call in these favors. Like this is the coolest thing about it, I think, in my opinion, is like, hey, can you guys get me reservations to this restaurant that does not have any reservations? And they'll be like, yeah, we'll make something happen.
That's terrific.
Can you get me tickets to this concert last minute? They're like, yeah. Or if they can't get me free tickets, they'll get me like the face value tickets. Because sometimes they have resellers and you have to pay like I saw Billie Eilish for like the ticket price. You know what I'm saying? Not like the $1,000 that I was advertised online.
Yeah.
That was really cool. So getting to see these, I've been taking advantage of that a lot. Like going to sports games, concerts, really enjoying that, and that's been the coolest thing. But yeah, the DMs are interesting. They're just too many. There's literally too many. Sometimes I don't even see them, and especially before and after shows, then they take photos of the show and stuff. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to navigate. Like, cause I don't want to say that I'm famous, but it certainly feels that way some days. Like I get recognized every day now.
Wow. Just out and about.
Just out and about.
What does that feel like? I
don't mind it. I love it. It hasn't become a problem yet. I mean, I was at Disneyland with friends of mine a couple months ago in November, and I think I got stopped like 20 plus times while we were there.
And that's just the people that are stopping you, because when I see celebrities, I don't bother them.
Yeah, so I definitely I've noticed the look.
Mm-hmm,
There's the recognition look where they're like,
yeah.
And then they go about their day. I've noticed the look. Because I've done it where you see somebody, you're like, and you just can't help but like, oh,
of course.
Is that? You just keep looking at them. So I noticed that. But I asked my friends at Disneyland, I was like, is this annoying you guys? And they were like, no, if it becomes an issue, we'll leave and we'll just meet you somewhere else. They were very cool about it. But I could see where, like, I was in San Jose and I was at this like outdoor market getting food, and I was with my assistant. And it was one of these things where every time I went to take a bite, I hadn't even taken the first bite, a new person came up to me. Because what happens is, if they see, sometimes I have to say this at shows because I'll walk around because I like to see the crowd and surprise people sometimes. If they're like, can I take a photo with you real quick? And there's a lot of people around.
If you say yes to one, they're all going to.
I said, yeah. I said, man, it's like, I'd love to, but if I take this photo with you, every single person's going to take a photo of me, and it's just, I won't be able to leave. So we'll hold off for now, That's the only time I won't really do it. But if I'm at like Disneyland and it's like one here, one there, it might get worse.
Would you go incognito, big sunglasses, hat? Would you go in that direction if you needed to?
Well, I found out later that some of these public places that mega celebrities can't go to anymore, they have like celebrity entrances and celebrity tours and celebrity like, so you can enjoy the park without having to deal with this. So, I'm not quite there yet. I don't think, as comics, I don't think we ever, I don't think we, for some reason, comics have this like, you can't talk to me energy, because all we do is talk to people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not like you're, Bruno Mars or Lady Gaga, which I understand, where you have to put like a certain level of, or Justin Bieber, you have to put this kind of wall between you and fans, because some people can get a little crazy. Did you hear the story about Robert Pattinson and his stalker? Did you ever hear the story?
No, I didn't.
It's one of the best stories. It's a real story. He had a stalker, and one day the stalker like came to his front door, and he just was like, "You want to just get some dinner?" Proceeds to have dinner with this person, trauma dumps on them for an hour and a half, never heard from the stalker again.
Wow.
Stalker was like, you know what? Because I think once you realize that
it's just a person,
it kind of like really normalizes them. So, it loses all that mystery and excitement. You're like, oh, you're just like stressed about the same shit that I am. Well, this isn't that cool. I thought you were cooler than that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I have any stalkers yet, but
you would know, I think. If there was someone
I
that
definitely
was
had like somebody
DMing you, or
yeah, I definitely had somebody like harassing me that I had to, eventually like. But you could realize I had like mental health issues. That's kind of scary because you don't. I understand for women especially. I just saw a story of these streamer girls who were. Can I just show the camera something? I just noticed something.
Oh no!
What guys? What are we doing with this? What are we clinging to? What are we grabbing onto? What? Look at this. I have to zoom in so you can see it. What are you? What are we clinging onto? One vine? Just start the plant over again.
I know. I need to.
As somebody who's a plant daddy,
yeah.
I do know how exciting it is to have the vines hang. But there's a fine line between it being like sad and making like that pothos is great, and that is there another one over there?
Yeah, it's another pothos.
Yeah, those are great. Oh yeah, there it is. Mm-hmm. Those are great, but
no, you're right. I respect that.
I don't
I'll
know.
take care of it.
I think you just put another plant in there.
It used to be a Swiss cheese plant, and it was beautiful, and that's why I'm sad.
Did you get the little bugs on it or something? The white bugs?
No, I don't know what really happened with it. I tried to propagate it, and I replanted it, and a lot of times when I replant something, that's when things go downhill. Or repot it, replant, repot.
Yeah, the repotting is tough. Yeah, I have a lot of plants. I have a lot of sunlight in my place, so I have a lot of plants. But
I love when men have plants.
Well, I mean,
there's not a ton of light in here, so they all have to be right at this window.
Plants and art, fellas, like, get some prints on your wall. I know times are tough, but if you can't do that, make your own art. If you just hang shit, everything's about context, dude. You can just like frame a postcard, and that's like art.
That's true.
You know, it's all about context and the way you framing something is more important than what the thing is. I feel like, you know. So, but your place as well. If you saw my place, I have lots of arts on a lot of art on the wall, a lot of plants. I actually prided myself. I decorated my whole place, and it actually turned out very cute, to the point where people come over and they go, "Did your partner decorate this?" I go, "No." If anybody's a decorator here, it's me. No shade to Lily, but her place is a mess.
Well, it's good that you value that. I value that. I get very excited when I am dating someone and I first see their place. It's a big learning moment as far as priorities and comfort, and can a person nest? Can a person, because I've dated the guy who also uses bed sheets as a curtain. Like, I can't do that anymore.
Oh, no.
Not in my 30s.
Did you ever hear the joke from Chris Rock? Has a really old, this is from his specials, where it's like, women can't go back financially and men can't go back sexually, meaning like, so I'm not going to do the joke, but the premise, the theory, which I believe is very accurate. If you date a man who doesn't have a roommate, it's going to be very difficult to, like, if you date somebody new if they have a roommate.
That's fair.
If I date a woman who does anal, it's going to be very hard for me to date another woman who doesn't do anal.
Is it about that, or is it about how a woman looks?
Well, I think men's standards are very different. There's the standards for like who you'll sleep with and like who you'll nest with. They're like, those are different standards, because men are like, spread seed. I am monkey man. Like, let me, I want to.
The bar's lower for who you're attracted to.
Who you'd like sleep with, I would say, yeah. And I don't know if I'm speaking for all men here, but I think so, and then, but like who do you decide to like create a life with is also different too. And I think those are just two different standards that
I've heard it categorized, I think, as there's 5 different boxes that men will put women in. And it's like, someone you're willing to hook up with, someone who's maybe you view them as being out of your league, someone that's like your dream girl, someone that is like okay to spend time with, but that you wouldn't actually get serious with, and that there's these different tiers, and allegedly men can put women in those tiers instantaneously.
I think there's some
truth to that. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I think there is some truth to that. 100%. Yeah.
What do you think of people that have types?
I think that's I don't think that's a real thing. I don't know, because
really?
I've slept with every kind you can imagine. Tall, short, big, skinny. I'm talking about big women. Some big women. I think all women are very beautiful, and they all have, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about the types thing. I mean, if we're going just on physical appearance, I don't know if that's like a thing, Now, when it comes to like personality, I don't know. Type. What are personality types? I mean, I don't like a type A person. Although I don't know, man. Sometimes I always talk to Lily about this. I'm like, because she's a very like career oriented gal, and now that I'm like a big time breadwinner, I'm like, do I want a trade wife? Is it trad wife or
trad wife?
You said why? But is it why?
It should be trade because it's a play on, or it should be. It's traditional, so it's trad.
Oh, yeah, trad. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, trad.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm all for like, follow your dreams, follow your career. I'll do whatever I can to support that. But in the realistic sense, and we've been having this conversation, it's like, if the foreseeable future is like I'm bringing in like 99% of the income in this relationship, which is fine. If I can take care of you, like I don't mind that. But like I also need to be taken care of in a certain way.
Yeah,
absolutely. But if it's like a 50-50 thing, like I get it, like let's house of cards this shit. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have those conversations. Like, what is our role in this relationship? If I'm like the LeBron James on our team, you need to be like the support. You know what I'm? Or if I'm the Michael Jordan, like you got to be Scottie Pippen. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I do, because I think about this a lot. I think it's a really hard thing for me to land on a position with, because.
Oh, and let me just say this, and just to go with that analogy, it's like, and you want your star player to be healthy, happy, and able to perform at the highest level, so he can like make the team win a championship, if that makes sense. So if we use that analogy for a team, like for a team. How can we, if we're both not Michael Jordan, maybe we're like just a good ensemble and we can help each other out and still win. You know what I mean? So you just have to really have those conversations. Like, what is our roles going to be in this relationship?
Here's where it's tricky. Yeah. So even when I look at this and it's like what I want with career stuff versus family goals, and like I do want a family, and there's this ideation with, oh, how great would it be if I had a partner who I could fully trust and who could just take care of everything, and I could just do the trad wife thing. However, the trap with that for women is if your partner does a 180 on you and they turn out to either fall out of love with you or be abusive or something goes downhill with the relationship, you now security. As the woman have no financial backing to leave. So that's where it's difficult, because I want more women to want, if it is their thing, their passion, to just be a trad wife and be at home and like be supported, take care of kids, whatever. Yes, that's great. But what happens when your partner 180s on you and you have to leave, and now you have no job experience, no money, no safety net?
Yeah, I guess that's the gamble we all take, right?
It is.
Because also if I marry somebody who's a trad wife, I'm also like running the risk of them taking all my money and half my shit.
Correct.
But these are the things we have to accept in the thing, right? We're all taking a risk, right? Like if I end up marrying a crazy a woman who's because I hear stories about this, who's a trad wife, but they might also take a key to my car. Do you know there's a really interesting podcast episode I would listen to? It's with this divorce lawyer.
I love him. I know exactly who you're talking about. And I listened to like every podcast. He did a run of podcasts.
Yeah, he did the episode with Stephen Bartlett's, and I listened to his episode and I thought it was so fascinating the way he spoke about relationships. And one of the instances he said was like there was a couple and there was a thing in the clause in the contract, like the woman couldn't gain like a certain amount of weight. And he was like, you might think that's actually despicable and disgusting, but this man was by no means an attractive man. He was older. So both of these people are kind of like getting something out of this relationship.
They weren't in it for love.
And that's okay too. Like you have to know what the parameters of your relationship are, why you're in it, what do you want to get out of it. You have to have these conversations. You have to think long term. I don't think people really think about a relationship as a partnership. Me and Lily are incredibly realistic, I feel like, about our relationship. And we have to have long conversations and talk through things, so it's just kind of what it is. And obviously I don't have a normal job, and neither does she. So it's going to look different for everybody. So let's to recap. Is there a type? I don't think so. Define your goals in a relationship. Define your goals in your own career. Lead with empathy and be nice to yourself.
If you had to do something else tomorrow, if it all fell away, what would you want to do?
I'd probably open a bar or a food truck or something. I like to host. So something in hospitality, maybe even work at a hotel or something.
What kind of food truck?
It'd probably be like a Brazilian Argentinian fusion type of thing, little empanadas, like rice and bean type stuff. My mom's from Brazil. My dad was raised in Argentina, so like I'm familiar with that food. I probably wouldn't go anywhere near Italian food, even though I could cook it, because he was born in Sicily. I mean, most of the things with food is just like season the shit, dude. I watch a lot of Gordon Ramsay now.
Yeah.
People do not put salt on shit. Like,
no, they don't.
Just put some fucking salt on it, dog. Salt every step of the way, you know?
That's good advice.
Salt yeah, I mean, it's like, you don't really need a lot of ingredients. You need black pepper, salt, and some olive oil or some sort of oil. And you can cook most anything.
It's that Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, that Netflix show that came out like 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, where every episode is just about, one episode is about salt, one episode is about heat, one episode is about acid, one episode is about fat, and then there's like a fifth overall arching episode. And it just really taught me as far as cooking, like that those ingredients are so important.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you need, really.
I was skimping with all that stuff. I was skimping with fat, and I was skimping with salt.
Fat is flavor, dude.
Yeah, it
Render
really
the
is.
fat. Cook in the fat.
Cook in the fat.
Cook in the fat, and it's probably better than like most processed stuff you're going to eat anyway. So I think we ran a lot of, I don't know if we're wrapping up. I'm not rushing, but
we could land the plane.
But I feel like we are talking about a lot of different things.
We're all over the place.
Which is
good.
Well,
I'll leave you. Last question. What does your ideal day look like? Morning to night.
Ideal day. I wake up. I'm going to run you through a day when I have a consistent schedule. Wake up, run for 1 to 3 miles, come back, do a small workout in my apartment with like body weights and some dumbbells, yoga, vocal exercises, journal at some point in this process, then meditate after all of that, at which point I might write or do some creative work, followed by having sex at some point in the day, followed by playing video games at some point, followed by an episode of one of 3 different shows, either a new season of MasterChef. Right now, a new season like Invincible has been incredible. White Lotus, we are loving. What other shows am I? But some TV show that I'm really like fucking vibing with. And that's honestly about it. At no point is there a comedy show in that day. I'm like comedy showed out.
Yeah,
you know.
Good to know. I like to see what if you could just have the most hedonistic day, morning to night.
Hedonistic day?
What does it look like?
Well, that's a different question. Damn, dude. You put me in a fucking orgy, dude. I've been in one of those. Daddy likey. And playing poker. I love to play poker.
Nice.
So I love Vegas. So if I go to Vegas, I will like play poker. I have gotten more comfortable with like going to strip clubs. I mean, I went to one in Dallas. I didn't go to one in Vegas, but like I remember I went to one in like Tijuana. It was the first time I ever went, and I felt I felt very guilty, and I felt bad for everybody there. But as I've grown older, I've felt less like, I don't know, like strip clubs are an interesting place because it's like, on one hand, it's like I can't like, I don't know, I can't save all these people, and I don't even know if they want to be saved.
Yeah.
Some of them like this job. I don't know. So I just am like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna throw some ones down and slap these asses. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So you take it for what it is. Like the poker room is the poker room, the strip club is the strip club, the nice restaurant is a nice restaurant. Just enjoy the things that are. Life's too short, so you just enjoy the things that exist. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can really do. Like we may not be here tomorrow.
That's right. Well, that's a good place to land it, Morgan J. Thank you so much for doing the show. What do you have going on that you want people to know about?
Just go to morganj.com. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Head over to morganj.com for tour dates, goofygang.com for merch. Everything is basically sold out for the whole year. So
congratulations.
We are going to be announcing some fall tour dates. And that's it. I mean, I got some TV shows that I'm in that are going to be coming out soon, but it will just happen. I'll just let it happen when it happens. That's it. So I appreciate you having me on here.
Thank you for being here. And thank you everybody for listening.
Bye.
Bye.